Hello everyone, you're watching VM24.com channel, and today we will be disassembling Samsung Galaxy S23. First we need to remove the SIM card tray. To do this we use a SIM eject tool. Insert it into the hole and carefully push out the tray. If the tray doesn't come out easily, we can also use tweezers to help. Next we need to heat the back cover to around 70 degrees Celsius or 160 degrees Fahrenheit. For this we use a heating pad, but you can also use a hairdryer. And after 5 to 10 minutes we move on to removing the back cover. We use a thin plastic film. For this it can be the protective film from a new display or just a thin film of plastic from an office supply store. Carefully insert it into the gap between the back cover and the mid frame and slide it along the edge to cut through the adhesive layer. As always, be extra careful around the cameras so you don't accidentally scratch or damage the lenses. Also take care around the buttons. And now lift the cover. As we can see, there is nothing mounted on the back cover itself. Next we start removing the screws. For this we use a 1.5mm Phillips screwdriver, also known as a Phillips #3O. We unscrew the screws holding the NFC and wireless charging assembly and disconnect the connector. Then we carefully lift the assembly with a non-metal tool. After that we disconnect the battery connector. Now we move on to the screws at the bottom. It is best to fold the battery flex cable aside so the connector doesn't accidentally snap back into place. We remove the bottom screws using the same Phillips #3O screwdriver. It is a good idea to keep these screws separate from the previous ones, just in case. Next we need to remove the loudspeaker cover. Pry it up from the right spot, lift it and set aside the cover along with the NFC and wireless charging module. After that we disconnect the interconnect flex cables and the antenna cable and move them aside. By the way, the flex cables have arrows showing the direction toward the motherboard. Once the flex cables are removed, we can move on to the subboard. Now we unscrew the 3 screws securing the subboard. They look identical, but it is still better to keep them separate from the others. Carefully lift out the subboard. It sits slightly recessed in the display frame, so take it out gently. The subboard contains the charging port, microphone, and the SIM connector is located on the other side. Now comes our usual quick test of the microphone opening. The mic hole in the display frame is L-shaped. On the back side there is a membrane or mesh filter. The microphone itself is located on the subboard. If we insert something into the mic hole, we won't damage the microphone and most likely won't damage the membrane either. Now let's move to the motherboard. We need to remove the screws at the top that hold down the speaker cover and the motherboard. Again we use the 1.5mm Phillips or Phillips #3O. Keep these screws separate as well. We can also remove the screws holding the cameras on one side. And we forgot at the very beginning to cover the camera lenses so dust doesn't get in. Please notice that we stick the protective film not directly on the lenses, but on the rim around them. With the lenses covered, we move on to disconnecting the cover. Look carefully at where and how it comes off. And yes, first we need to remove the top speaker cover. Gently pry it up at the edge, lift it and remove it. As we can see, under the cover we have the front-facing camera. Disconnect its connector. Now we can disconnect and remove the motherboard. Carefully take it out Then flip it over to disconnect the rear cameras. We disconnect the rear cameras and set them aside, along with the motherboard. That leaves the battery. As is typical for the Samsung series, there is one green or blue pull tab in the middle. On the sides there are clear films or tabs that you need to fold back as far as possible. Then pull up on the center tab to release the battery. Also typical for this type of adhesive, part of the battery will likely be stuck more firmly in one area, usually because of heat from the battery or the display frame. So we need to find the spot where the battery is stuck, carefully work it free using a plastic film and, if necessary, some isopropyl alcohol. It is best not to use a metal tool, since that could puncture the battery casing. Once we separate the stuck spot, the rest of the battery will come out pretty easily. As you can see, the battery was stuck in two spots, at the top and bottom. And now we remove the battery. That completes the disassembly. Thank you for watching and see you in our next videos, or on our Telegram channel or on our website. Okay guys, now we're done. Thank you for watching. If you like what we do, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel or read our articles on our website. Take care of yourself and until next video.